Hello besties! Today we are doing a 3D Coffin Tumbler sleeve tutorial. But before then, let me welcome you to our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on all our social medias under Misfit Makers, and also click that subscribe button so you'll be notified of any new content, and check out our website and our Patreon. Before I get started, while I paint this, I did adhere my sleeve using CCDIY's Turbo Epoxy. I just did a very thin coat and then slid it on there, let it sit there until it cured, and now I'm working on my sleeve. The sleeve is already attached to my tumbler, which is a 24-ounce plump from the Tipsy Magnolia, and the sleeve is from Dimensional Drinks. I'm using Pop of Color from CCDIY in our custom color from CCDIY. I think it's called #Besties. It's one of my favorite. And I did 2 coats, let it completely dry, and then I'm going in with some UV resin. A very, very, very thin coat of UV resin. This is just to adhere my glitter. I'm going to be using the color Mochi, I believe it is called, by the glitter guy. It is a very baby pink glitter. It's very beautiful, very iridescent. So it's just going to give it kind of like my glitter an extra sparkle. So I'm going to adhere my glitter. I'm going to cure it under the UV light. And then after curing it under the UV light, we are ready for our coat of epoxy. You can use epoxy or do a coat of UV resin to completely dry or seal your glitter. You want to make sure you have a nice sealed coat. As you see here, I put 1 coat, I believe, of epoxy, very, very thin. Okay, now for our next step, I wanted to use these Ghost Pearl vinyl from the Glitter Guy. If you haven't checked them out, go find them. They are so cool. They are called it's called Transparent Pearlescent. I think I've heard them called Ghost Vinyl because it's like kind of see-through, but it also gives like this opaly look. So it's a very neat effect. So you want to make sure to put it under a coat of glitter so it will shine through because it is transparent. Okay, so as you saw there, I kind of traced kind of like what I needed of my vinyl there. And now I'm going to apply it as if you were to apply vinyl on any flat surface, using my squeegee here to kind of smooth out any of those creases. After you have your vinyl nice and smooth, we're going to trim up the edges there. Just grab a ruler. I love my architectural ruler because it lays flat on my tumbler there on any surface, and I'm just gonna use that as my guide and a very sharp X-Acto blade to trim up those edges. So I love this tumbler sleeve because you can really make it whatever you want it to. You guys know I'm a pink girly. I love anything girly, so of course it had to be pink. Of course it needed leopard spots, and of course it needs holographic nail tape. So this is the part I'm doing next, is using nail tape here to line up my vinyl just to kind of finish it off. Now, mind you, this was a little tricky because it's right on that edge, so just keep in mind, but I feel like it kind of polishes it and finishes it off. I'm not sure if I showed this next step, but I made sure to seal all my vinyl and my vinyl strips with Quick Coat before I epoxied it again, because you don't want any of those pesky lines or vinyl lines to come off. There I was just showing that I also did the line work in the front. I didn't put vinyl on the other side because I'm going to put a decal on there, but here I am putting my vinyl on there. I created this little decal. I couldn't find something that I wanted, so I went ahead and made it. Very simple, just says "Bury Me in Pink" with some lips, and it's just super cute, kind of giving like the burn book kind of vibes, but also kind of with a little dark twist. But if you notice, I put my decal a little bit lower because we will be doing a black drip, of course. So I did a little bit of layering there for the lips and the color pink and a darker color, and then we're going to move on to the drip. After you have all your decals where you want them and it's all perfect and ready to go, you want to give it one thin coat of epoxy or UV, whatever your preference is, before we go in with the drip. So here is my epoxy. I have about 20 mLs. I'm using some glitter from the glitter guy called Twilight, a little bit of mica and ultra white just to kind of give it some more sparkle, and some ebony color paint from CCDIY, and some nice and thick. This is called dispersion paint. A little goes a long way. I want it to be super pigmented. I don't want my drip to be translucent, so that's why I went with the paint as opposed to pop of color. I wanted the dispersion paint is very, very, very pigmented. So I'm adding a little bit of glitter, a little bit of micas, a little bit of nice and thick, just to get it that nice thick consistency. I will say I use Facet. If you are not familiar with Facet or newer to drips, I would advise you to use regular curing epoxy just so it doesn't flash cure on you. Sometimes when adding a lot of stuff to your drip, it tends to flash cure if you are not working quickly. So just keep that in mind. And just because your first drip doesn't work out doesn't mean it's not. Keep on trying. Don't give up, okay? Here I am, this view here. I know I look awful here. I'm concentrating here. But what you want to do is you want to hold your tumbler flat like this and very slowly start at the top and let gravity do its thing, okay? Don't rush it. Don't rush it. If it starts going too quickly, then grab your tumbler and turn it around. Or if you know where your drips are and you want them, like you like them where they're at, put it on the turner. Okay, so obviously here's where the drips are all done. You kind of let gravity do its thing. It has one last coat of epoxy. I personally like epoxying over my drip, but you can do you. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's very fun, kind of, of course, pink, kind of giving Halloween vibes, but also I feel like it would be a cute cup for an everyday cup. I mean, but that's just me. I'm a little extra, but I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for our Patreons for always supporting us. Thank you, besties. And make sure you subscribe so you'll be notified of any future videos. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and we'll see you next time.